Hello, everyone. Recently on WeChat, I posted a video clip, and that video clip essentially showed great dedication and commitment of China's doctors and nurses in caring for the welfare of their patients. Now, of course, I'm referring to the current outbreak of coronavirus that is unfortunately inflicted great damage on China, our biggest trading partner for Australia, and a country that means so much to many people in Australia. Now, of course, this clip that I posted showed a great deal of dedication and care by these doctors and nurses who really put their lives at risk. And they did it for the greater good. So this was hard not only for the medical personnel, but also their loved ones. So you can imagine one evening you're with your husband or wife and you wish them well, and that may be the last time you see them. So those are the levels of extreme risk that people take for the greater good of the community. Now, of course, this virus is a terrible, terrible thing to hit China, and we in other parts of the world should feel for people in the country who are suffering, who are having really a terrible time, just either self-isolating or just trying to get on with their lives, which at this difficult time. So, brings me to the point that Australia, why is it so important for people in Australia to care? Well, number one, China's our biggest trading partner. It accounts for something like 33% of our exports. So a huge, huge market. China, of course, is a big source of inwards investment. Many Chinese companies and businesses invest in Australia. So it brings a lot of economic benefit to the country. Our university sector would probably close down if it were not for the Chinese students and the enormous amount of revenue that they contribute to the welfare of our universities. Our tourism sector also benefits very, very significantly, because when Chinese come to Australia, they spend a lot of money. So all of this gets to the point being, we in Australia benefit very, very significantly from China. Just remember, those are economic transactions, but behind every economic transaction, people exist, human beings exist. We must never forget this. And because we in Australia benefit so much from the Chinese economy, this is a good time for us to show our concern and to really help China and people in China in constructive ways. Now, one way would be for us to send trained medical personnel to Wuhan and other affected parts of China. Now, of course, you may say Australians put their lives at risk in this situation, but then as the video clip that I showed, Chinese people also put their lives at risk. Let us also not forget that a year or two ago, a lot of many Australian medical personnel went to Africa also to help Africans when the Ebola outbreak hit that continent. We can do it. We've done it before. And Ebola was just as serious, if not more, than coronavirus presently is. So, once we realize how important China is to Australia, we realize that any downturn in China will have significant knock-on effects for the Australian economy, given our exposure to that market. And it could also mean that Australia could face a recession, something we haven't had in this country since 1991. So that is almost 28 years ago, 29 years ago, a very long time. Many people haven't experienced a recession. I have, and it's not a pretty sight. So these are the things we need to consider. The importance of China to Australia, as I've demonstrated with all the figures, and with its huge impact on exports, on education, on tourism, and on investment. In all of these critical areas, China means a tremendous amount of benefit to this country. What better way to show our appreciation to China in its moment of need, by providing things like medical assistance, personnel, and any other items, face masks or whatever, that are needed very badly in China. Of course, we can all be inspired by the dedication shown by the medical staff in China that I have shown you in this clip. Just to finish, it is my most sincere hope and cherished wish that this dreadful virus dissipates quickly in China and elsewhere, with things returning to normal as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and good evening.